Five Factors on tonight.
That was Ricky Martin performing at the 2001 inauguration of President Bush the Younger. But this year, many performers are afraid to attend the Trump inauguration. We'll tell you exactly what's going on.
In the phrase, "Make America Great Again," there's one word that if you are a person of color that you sort of stumble over, and it's the word again.
New Year, same old story. The far left branding Donald Trump and his supporters racist. Will this ever stop?
What was the biggest mistake you made in 2016?
Following other people's opinions.
Like when everyone said Hillary was going to win?
That was a big one.
Also ahead, Waters in Times Square asking people about the new year.
It's going to be a beautiful year filled with love and acceptance. I'm sure of it.
Did you read that on a Hallmark card?
Caution, you are about to enter the no spin zone. Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. First edition of 2017. Happy New Year. Hope it's a good one for you and your family. Donald Trump's inauguration. That's the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. There are wide reports that many entertainers are frightened to perform in the inaugural festivities on January 20th. Hard to pin down, but the roster of performers today is scant. Some of the Rockettes from Radio City Music Hall in New York City will be there. The Mormon Tabernacle Choir out of Utah scheduled to perform. And Jackie Ivanko of America's Got Talent also set to sing. We hear the Beach Boys and the country group Alabama may be appearing, but that has not been confirmed. Also not confirmed are some entertainers who reportedly believe if they show up at the inauguration, it'll hurt their careers. The tenor Andrea Bocelli has been mentioned, along with Garth Brooks, I should say. But again, we cannot confirm the fear element. However, it's obvious there's a problem, and there should not be one. The inauguration of a president celebrates a peaceful transition of power engineered by the American voters. That's what the ceremony is, not a political gesture. So all Americans should respect the process, even if you don't like the incoming president. Should never be intimidation about attending or performing at an inauguration. That is un-American. The election of George W. Bush in 2000 was perhaps the most controversial vote in the nation's history, decided by the Supreme Court. Yet a variety of entertainment showed up at the inauguration, including Ricky Martin, Wayne Newton, Jessica Simpson, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and the Rockettes. Even Beyonce showed up, performing with Destiny's Child at an inaugural concert for America's youth. So even though there was bitterness over the Bush-Gore race, the nation came together at the inauguration. But now that cohesive spirit seems to have changed. The harsh truth is that there is reverse McCarthyism going on in the entertainment industry. Remember that in the 1950s, Wisconsin Senator Joseph McCarthy started accusing people in Hollywood of being communists. That led to a blacklist where people were not hired because McCarthy smeared them. Today, it seems anti-Trump zealots may be doing the same thing. If you're a Trump supporter, you're a bad person. And a number of entertainers believe their careers will be harmed should they associate with the new Trump administration. Again, that is terrible, an awful state of affairs. Talking Points believes enough is enough with the anti-Trump movement. Man won the election, give him a chance. Respect the process and stop the nonsense. And that's a memo. Now to the top story tonight. Reaction joining us from Washington, the New Year's guy, Charles Krauthammer. All right, I have a series of very short questions for you. First of all, do you believe that some, maybe many, entertainers are frightened to go to Washington because they think their careers may be harmed?
I have no idea, and thus far you presented no evidence to that effect.
Well, thus far there are very few booked, and we know that a number of people were asked to appear, but very few have said yes.
That doesn't prove fear. Hollywood is overwhelmingly more than 100% liberal, and it could very well be that these people, for their own political reasons, don't want to perform at a Republican or a Trump inauguration.
Then why did
Why
did the George W. Bush inauguration have, you know, a good cross-section of entertainers and not the Donald Trump so far?
Wayne Newton? Is that your A-list?
Ricky Martin? Andrew Lloyd Webber? I mean, pretty big names.
You know, I find it hard to get exercised over the fact that we may be short a Rockette at the inaugural celebration.
You're dodging the question. You don't believe that there's pressure being put upon entertainers not to show up? You don't believe that?
There's a group called Friends of Abe. You know them, I know them. It's a bunch of Hollywood conservatives who meet every once in a while, semi-clandestinely. They won't even publish their membership list because they know that if the word gets out that they are conservatives, it could hurt their careers. That's been true for decades.
Isn't that reverse McCarthyism?
It's deplorable, but it's nothing new. And in fact, it's not only in Hollywood. Why do you have all these conservative think tanks in Washington? The reason is that intellectuals, conservative intellectuals, have not been able to get jobs in elite universities for decades. So they had to establish their own counter institutions, things like the American Enterprise Institute, Heritage Foundation, etc., as an alternative venue.
Okay.
Liberals get control of cultural institutions, and conservatives are shut out.
I think it's far beyond that.
That
I think
is
it's
like
far
the
beyond a
sun
general
rising.
philosophical
That's the sun
difference.
rising in the east.
Okay. You basically have, do you agree with me that an inauguration is a celebration of the peaceful transition of power in the United States? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Do you agree that anyone who would hold it against someone who performed at an inauguration is un-American? That's an un-American act. Would you agree?
No, of course not.
You wouldn't.
Look, no, look. We don't have
So
a
it's
king.
okay to deny somebody a
that?
job in Charles Krauthammer's world if they show up at the Trump inauguration. That's okay. To deny
No,
somebody
I'm
a
not
job.
No.
But that's the
I'm saying
fear.
it's
That's
okay.
the cloak of fear that we're dealing with now.
But you've shown no evidence.
Oh, stop.
That that's
the
what's
evidence
at
is there's
play.
nobody booked. That's the evidence. There's
Because
nobody
they
booked
don't
2
wanna-
weeks away.
They don't want to play for Donald Trump. This
Bull.
is a republic. You
Bull.
are not summoned to perform for the king or for the dictator. In some places, if Kim Jong-un calls you to sing, you better show up, because otherwise you're not going to make it.
You don't know
till
anything
morning.
about the Hollywood industry.
This is-
They'll perform for Joseph Stalin, okay, if they think it's going to help their career, okay? They're afraid. These groups, rock groups, pop groups, even the country people, are afraid that if they do it, that they're going to lose bookings, that they're going to be attacked on the internet, they're going to be smeared all over the place, and so they're not. I can't believe you're denying this. It's so obvious.
I find it extremely hard to get exercised about something, which is that some people will perform for people of whom they have a political affinity. If I were asked to perform at a Clinton inauguration, I could very easily say, yes, I respect the process, and I will do it. That's perfectly fine. Or I could say, no, I think she's a crook. I think she would not be the right choice, and therefore I exercise my right
And
to
that's
simply
fine,
say no.
but you're not in fear of losing your job or a book contract or a speaking engagement. See, I don't mind people exercising the freedom to do what they want to do. I'm telling you that there is very rank fear in the entertainment industry to be associated with President-elect Trump. Last word.
There's been rank fear in Hollywood for decades to be even known as a conservative. You're about 20 years late to the party, Bill. And I don't think the inauguration is sort of this scandalous exception. This has been true forever. There are many places where liberals will not welcome conservatives. Hollywood, the university, those are just a couple of examples. And you live with it the way you live with the weather.
Not me. I think the process should be respected, and anyone invited should show up just to help their country. Anyway, great debate. Really good way to kick off the new year, Charles, and we appreciate it. Next on the rundown already, the Democrats are threatening to delay confirmation some Trump cabinet appointees. We'll tell you about it. And later, waters in Times Square New Year's Eve, not a good recipe. Those reports after these messages.